So, hello students. Today we will be dealing with the chapter the physical quantities and measurements, which is the first chapter of ICSE. So, in this particular chapter we will be dealing with the following contents. यानी कि हम देखेंगे कि how do we define measurement, what is the importance of measurement, and the second thing is what is the choice of unit and what are the properties that we should consider before claiming something as unit. Okay. The next thing is some basic physical quantities, the conventions while writing the SI unit, which is the standard system of units. Then we'll be talking about the measurement of length. How can we measure length using the different measuring devices? The same will be done for mass, time, temperature, and area. Okay, so let's start this session. So first of all, we have to understand what is the meaning of measurement. So two things you have to keep in mind कि जब हम measurement की बात करते हैं, firstly we are doing comparison. Okay, now comparison of what? Let's say I am saying that there are 5 dozens of banana, and I don't know exactly ki how many bananas are there in 5 dozen, but we know one thing, that how much bananas are present in 1 dozen. So what we do is we say that 5 dozen can also be written as 5 into 1 dozen. Now we know the value of this particular quantity, that is 1 dozen, which is 12. So we'll quickly multiply this with 5 and say the answer is 60. So in 5 dozens there will be 60 bananas. But the answer in our head comes from where? It comes that in 1 dozen it has 12 bananas. So in 5 dozens, 5 into 12, that is 60. So what we are doing, we are comparing an unknown quantity, that is 5 dozen here, with that of a known one, that is 1 dozen. And that basically is the definition of measurement. So we'll look in further cases. Okay. So what we are defining here, we are saying this is basically a process of measurement. Measurement क्या है? Is a process of comparison जहां पर हम एक चीज को compare कर रहे हैं with something that is already established, a unit that is already established. So when I am saying that 5 meters, essentially I can also say that 5 times 1 meter, because we know that we have a 1 meter scale. We know that 1 meter has 100 centimeter. So if we know the reference value, the fixed value, all we need to do is to multiply any number. So any that is uncertain is getting compared with the known quantity. So that is the basic of measurement. So for measurement we need a universally accepted units, and that is why in due course of development of units, पहले बहुत सारे different units use होते थे, CGS, MKS जो हम देखने वाले हैं, and then the scientist agreed upon a system जहां पर हमें एक fixed system लेना पड़ा unit का, and we decided that it should be very standardized and it is internationally accepted. So we are calling that system International System of Units. Now if we say that the length of the room is 5 meter, then we mean that the unit of length is meter and the measurement, the value is 5 times that of the unit, that is the meter. That is what being written here. Now जब भी किसी भी physical quantity की बात होगी, चाहे वो length हो, time हो, mass हो, हमेशा उसमें दो चीजें होंगी. Every physical quantity, every sort of measurement will be carrying two things. The first thing is the numerical figure, which is also known as the magnitude. यानी कि 5 kgs में 5 is the number, the numerical value, the numerical figure. इसको physics में या in definition of science we call as magnitude. And the second is kg, यानी कि mass का unit क्या होगा? kg होगा. Similarly, if I say that the temperature of the room is 22 degrees Celsius, then we are saying that 22 is the magnitude. 22 is the magnitude, and I am saying that degree Celsius is the unit. So if I give this reference here, I can consider that this n, the numerical figure, is 22, and degree Celsius or degree centigrade is the unit. Now for every physical quantity, these two things, the number and the unit, will be always will be there. आप कोई भी example ले लो. Let's take the example of distance. 10 kilometers. 10 is the n, numerical figure, magnitude, and kilometer is the unit. And it goes similarly for all the physical quantities. Moving ahead, we have the choice of unit. So there are two things, that it should be of convenient size and it should be universally accepted. What is the meaning of convenient size? Let's say this session जो अभी YouTube पर हो रहा है, which is being recorded, it is going to be of 1 hour. Now it is convenient to say 1 hour of session. But अगर इसको seconds में convert करूं, so 1 hour is how many minutes? 60 minutes. 1 minute has 60 seconds. So 1 hour will be having 3600 seconds. Now it is better to say the session is of 1 hour rather than saying the session is of 3600 seconds. So it should be of convenient size. Similarly, to give an example, the context is very important. Like if I have to give a longer distance, the distance between two cities. So मीटर में एक्सप्रेस करना, सेंटीमीटर में एक्सप्रेस करना will be rather too clumsy and very confusing. It is better कि जब long distances की बात हो, we use kilometer. That is why the distance between two cities is always being given in kilometers, because it is of convenient size in the context of distance between cities. It should be universally accepted. No matter कोई भी इंसान एक जगह अगर है, then 100 kilometers is always going to be same, चाहे वो किसी और पार्ट ऑफ वर्ल्ड में हो या किसी वो एक अनदर पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड में हो. 100 किलोमीटर, इफ आई हैव मेंशन्ड द नंबर एंड द वैल्यू, इट इज गोइंग टू बी सेम थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड. So these are two properties that the standardized system carries with itself. Okay, now how do we define measurement? Now it is written that measurement is the comparison of an unknown quantity with that of a known one of the same kind. Now अभी हमने इसको थोड़ा सा डिस्कस किया है, but to help you understand it, I will give you a reference. Let's say I have to measure the length of this panel. Now the length of this panel is unknown to me. Now how will I measure the length? So I will take something that is of known value. Now let us say I have this remote control whose value I am knowing. Let's say it is 15 centimeter. So what I will do, I will try to measure it as how many times this screen is containing this remote control. So let's say this screen is having 9 times the value of our unit. What was our unit? Our unit was remote control. Okay, so whatever the value of that remote control will be, we'll simply put there, and let's say its value is 15 centimeter. So the final answer would come as 135 centimeter. It means that the length of the panel is 135 centimeter. Okay, now let's get back to the definition of measurement. What we did, we compare the length of the unknown quantity, which was the length of this panel, and what did we use? We used a known one quantity, that was this remote control, whose length I have taken as 15. So again, comparison of the unknown quantity using the known one. This basically is the definition of measurement. Now we have said कि measurement के दो parts होंगे, एक numerical value जिसको हम magnitude बोलेंगे, and the second will be unit. Okay, so that is the part जहां पर अब हम move करने वाले हैं. We have understand कि what is measurement, what are the components of measurement, the numerical figure and the unit. Okay, now there were different systems of unit. Like mass को measure करने के लिए some peoples were using different unit like gram, some peoples were using pound, some peoples were using kilograms. Similarly, length के लिए someone was using foot, someone was using meter, someone was using centimeters. So there was a difference in the type of measurement, in the unit of measurement. So we can say that on the basis of what was the unit जो कि people use कर रहे थे for measurements, there were basically 3 types of system. The first one was the CGS system. Now this CGS has centimeter for C, G for gram, and S for second. So eventually CGS, FPS and MKS system are the units which we are using for length, mass and time. So FPS will have foot for length, pound for mass and time के लिए second. Similarly MKS में लेंथ के लिए मीटर, मास के लिए किलोग्राम एंड टाइम के लिए सेकेंड. सो इस तरह के सिस्टम्स डिफरेंट पार्ट ऑफ वर्ल्ड में यूज किए जा रहे थे. बट अब आप इमेजिन करो इससे क्या डिफिकल्टी होगी. इससे डिफिकल्टी एक तो ये होगी कि जब आप अदर पार्ट ऑफ वर्ल्ड में जाओगे देन दे आर यूजिंग सम डिफरेंट यूनिट. नाउ यू विल हैव टू कन्वे टू देम कि आई एम यूजिंग अ डिफरेंट यूनिट एंड आई नीड द आंसर इन दिस यूनिट पर्टिकुलरली. So there is a confusion, there is an effort to it. That's why scientists came with a solution. अब group of scientists वो साथ में बैठे उन्होंने discuss किया why to make the calculations this much difficult. हम लोग एक standard system बनाते हैं and let's call it SI system. The standard system, the standard unit of international system or international units, the SI system. Okay. And that is why this particular system of SI units came into existence. Now यहां पर कुछ basic से example दिए गए कुछ physical quantities के जिसके SI systems and symbol लिखे हुए. So what are those? For length, the SI unit is meter and the symbol will be small m. For mass, it is going to be kilogram and the symbol will be kg. For time it is second and this is small s. Don't confuse it with capital S. No, it is small s. आप ऐसे लिख लो या ऐसे लिख लो small s. Now this is temperature. The SI unit is Kelvin and this is the symbol. Okay. Now हमने ये जो symbols use किए, what are the conventions for using that symbol? We are coming to that part. Just wait for 1 minute. Till now slide को study करो.
तो क्लास एंड होने में थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा. अब आप क्या करा देंगे उन लोगों को? पहले निशाना लग गया.
आ जाएंगे तो करवा लेंगे. आएंगे तो करवा लेंगे.
आप पहले क्लास ले लो.
सो यहां तक क्लियर है. हमने मेजरमेंट को डिफाइन कर लिया. हमने बताया कि इट इज अ टाइप ऑफ मेजरमेंट. कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ मेजरमेंट की बात की, द न्यूमेरिकल फिगर जिसको मैग्नीट्यूड भी बोलते हैं, यूनिट. फिर हमने डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ सिस्टम की बात की, सीजीएस सिस्टम, एफपीएस सिस्टम, देन एमकेएस सिस्टम. तीनों में क्या डिफिकल्टी थी? इट वाज नॉट गिविंग अ सिंगल वैल्यू. द यूनिट्स वेर डिफिकल्ट, सो वी वेर नीडिंग अ स्टैंडर्ड universally accepted system and that is why we switched to the SI system. Okay. Now to give you a hint, let's solve this question. The question is which unit is suitable to measure the height of the aeroplane? Now इस क्वेश्चन में हमसे पूछा जा रहा है कि अगर हमको इस एरोप्लेन की हाइट मेजर करनी है then what will be the suitable unit? क्या ये मिलीमीटर होगा? Obviously not, क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा मिलीमीटर्स होंगे एंड इट विल बी टू मच ऑफ एन एफर्ट टू कैलकुलेट दैट इन मिलीमीटर. सो दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट. सेंटीमीटर, सेम इशू. इट विल बी टू स्मॉलर अ यूनिट टू मेजर द हाइट ऑफ द एरोप्लेन. सो ये भी करेक्ट नहीं है. इज दिस किलोमीटर? नाउ किलोमीटर इज नॉट स्मॉलर बट किलोमीटर इज वे बिगर टू मेजर. हम इस प्लेन की हाइट को मेजर करने के लिए किलोमीटर बहुत बड़ी यूनिट है तो हम उसका भी यूज नहीं कर सकते. That is why this is wrong. These two are smaller, this is bigger. So what is a convenient way? We can say out of these four examples, the most convenient way is to use meter as the unit for the measurement of height of the aeroplane. So यहाँ पर एक चीज और verify हो रही है कि the context matter, the size should be convenient. Let's get back to slide number 3. यहाँ पर जो हमने notice किया था, it should be, the unit should be of convenient size. So if the object is differing, its measurements will be differing and our choice of unit will be differing. Okay, that is the idea. Now ये कुछ कन्वर्जन के क्वेश्चन है जो हम थोड़ी देर बात करेंगे. वंस वी हैव गॉट टू नो कि व्हाट आर द वेरिएशंस, व्हाट आर द रिलेशन बिटवीन वन क्वांटिटी एंड इट्स सब क्वांटिटी. Okay, so moving ahead from here, let's get back to this. So Doraemon asked to Nobita कहां चल दिए नोबिता? एंड ही रिप्लाइज बैक कि मैं बेसबॉल ग्राउंड का लेंथ मेजर करने जा रहा हूं. नाउ इमेजिन द बेसबॉल ग्राउंड, इट इज वेरी लेंथी. एंड ही आस्क अगेन, वो आप कैसे मेजर करोगे? पर कैसे आप उसको मेजर करोगे? देन नोबिता सेज रूलर से डोरेमोन. Now, isn't it something to laugh upon? नोबिता बेसबॉल ग्राउंड की लेंथ को रूलर से मेजर करने वाला है. सो आप खुद से बताओ, इज इट कन्वीनियंट वे? ऑब्वियसली नॉट. चूंकि बेसबॉल ग्राउंड की लेंथ काफी ज्यादा बड़ी होगी, सो वी विल बी नीडिंग हायर यूनिट. सो इट विल नॉट बी रूलर बिकॉज उसमें सेंटीमीटर्स यूज होगा. सो कैन वी यूज समथिंग डिफरेंट? यस वी कैन. एंड द आंसर इज, फॉर लेंथ्स लाइक बेसबॉल ग्राउंड हमको मीटर की यूनिट की यूटिलिटी होगी, क्योंकि दैट मीटर स्केल will be much easier to use in the case of baseball ground, and that is why he says, नादान नोबिता, रूलर से ग्राउंड का लेंथ मेजर करने में तो पूरा दिन निकल जाएगा. You should be using this. And then Nobita uses this and he is happy. So you have understood ki what is the meaning of the size, of the convenient size. Okay. So this was a very fun example ताकि आप इस चीज को समझ पाओ. Okay. Now let's move to the next part. नाउ समटाइम्स हम जो मेजर कर रहे होते हैं वो या तो ज्यादा बड़ा हो जाता है या बहुत ज्यादा छोटा. सो हाउ टू कन्वर्ट देम? सो देयर इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मल्टीपल एंड सब मल्टीपल. जैसे कि आपने ये टर्म्स सुने होंगे, मिली, सेंटी एंड देन किलो. सो व्हेन आई एम सेइंग दैट वी आर मेजरिंग 1 किलोमीटर, then since the standard unit for length is meter, the SI unit is meter, so can we say that how many meters are in kilometers? Yes, it is 1000 meters. So we are multiplying that with 10 to the power 3. Both are same exponential form. Now what if for units like centimeter we are converting meter into centimeter? So the relation between meter to centimeter is how much? We know that 1 meter has 100 centimeter. So 1 centimeter will be having 1 centimeter will be having 1 upon 100 meter, and that in form of exponents can be written as 10 to the power minus 2 meters. Okay. Now for millimeter, there is a relation 1 millimeter is equals to how many meters? आप खुद सॉल्व करके बताओ पहले. So वीडियो को पॉज करना and try to solve it. So we know that 1 centimeter has 10 millimeter. We also know that 1 meter has 100 centimeter. Now can I write this 100 centimeter as 100 into 1 centimeter? I am just multiplying 1 with someone, so it is going to be same. Now in place of 1 centimeter I will be putting this value. So this will become 100 into 10 millimeters. So the final answer will be 1 meter is equals to 1000 millimeter. 1 meter is equals to 1000 millimeter. So can we say that 1 millimeter is equals to 1 upon 1000 meter? And in exponential form this will be 10 to the power minus 3 meter, which is given here. So this is how we convert one unit to other unit. Okay, so this is the basis of conversion. Now let's try to solve the question. So यहाँ पर example दिया है, if the diameter of the ball is this much meter, it can be written as this. How? अब मैं इसको सॉल्व करता हूं. अभी जस्ट हमने लिखा 1 किलोमीटर इज इक्वल्स टू 1000 मिलीमीटर. यहां पर क्या वैल्यू है? द वैल्यू इज 0.0001 किलोमीटर. सो इन मिलीमीटर्स इट विल बी 0.001 into 1000, and that will be equals to 0.1 millimeter. So this is correct. Now let's try to solve the second thing. Similarly, if there is a distance between two cities is 4000 meter, in kilometer it can be written as 4. How? Because 1 kilometer is 1000 meters. So 4000 meters will be how much? 4 kilometer. As simple as that. So यहां पर हम सिर्फ यूनिट के चेंजेस नहीं देख रहे, we are also learning how to convert one unit into a different unit. That is the idea, and that we are going to implement in the upcoming slides. Okay, moving ahead. Now there are certain rules. जैसे आप कोई गेम खेलते हो, there are certain rules attached to it. जब आप कोई नया बोर्ड गेम लाते हो, there are rules to it. Similarly, science also have rules. Now what are those rules? First of all, जब हम लिखते हैं कोई भी quantity, we say that it has numerical value and it has a unit. So let's say I am saying the value 5 meter. 5 is the numerical value, the magnitude, and meter is the unit. So जब हम unit लिखते हैं, there are certain set of rules which we need to follow. And what are those rules? These are the rules. So it says that the symbols used for units are always written in small letters. अगर कोई भी यूनिट साइंटिस्ट के नाम पर नहीं है, so we are talking about those units which are not named after the name of the scientist. So all those units will be written in small letters. That is why kg this is the right form, this is the capital, so this is the incorrect form. इसी way, symbol of meter, this small meter is correct and this capital is incorrect. Similarly, small s is correct and capital S is incorrect. So this is the first rule. अगर कोई भी unit apart from scientist name, अगर कोई भी unit हम लिखते हैं, the symbol will always be used in small letters. What is the second rule? So we have covered the first one. The second one says that for those units जिसके name में scientist का involvement है, उनके units को lower case में लिखा जाएगा. Now what is the meaning of lower case? कि we are not saying ampere, we are writing completely ampere. So current की unit होती है ampere. In the complete word it will be written as ampere. So we have to use this and not this. Okay, so that is the idea. The next rule is symbol for unit after a scientist. Now we have talked about the word form. Now we'll be talking about the symbol for these units. Now symbol of Fahrenheit, which is again named after scientist, will be given as capital. यहां पर हमने जितने भी यूनिट्स लिए थे स्मॉल में लिए थे सिंबल, और यहां पर जितने भी सिंबल्स यूज होंगे वो कैपिटल में होंगे. सो एम्पियर जो मैंने लिया, इसका सिंबल विल बी कैपिटल ए नॉट स्मॉल ए. फ़ारेनहाइट के लिए इट विल बी कैपिटल ए नॉट कैपिटल एफ नॉट स्मॉल एफ. एंड सिमिलरली फॉर केल्विन इट विल बी कैपिटल के एंड नॉट स्मॉल के. व्हाट आर अदर रूल्स? देयर आर 4 other rules also. So the unit and its symbol are never written in plural. इसका मतलब ये हुआ, आप कभी भी नहीं बोलोगे 15 kilograms. You will always be saying 15 kilogram, not s, not the plural form. You will be always saying 60 second. You will never say 60 seconds. S will be omitted because the plural form is not accepted. The next one is in words the unit is written in small letters. तो जब भी हम वर्ड्स में जो आपने यहां पर देखा था, जब भी हम मीटर सिंबल यूज करेंगे वो ये होगा, एंड इन द वर्ड फॉर्म इट विल बी रिटन लाइक दिस. दिस इज द करेक्ट फॉर्म. अगर कैपिटल यूज करते हैं दैट इज इनकरेक्ट. ओके, द नेक्स्ट इज अ स्पेस इज लेफ्ट बिटवीन द सिंबल्स ऑफ टू यूनिट्स व्हेन दे आर यूज्ड एज प्रोडक्ट. ओके, सो आगे आने वाली क्लासेस में यू विल बी यूजिंग द क्वांटिटीज, जहां पर 2 डिफरेंट फिजिकल क्वांटिटीज यूज होंगी. तो जब भी ऐसा केस आए, द न्यूटन इज द यूनिट फॉर फोर्स, सेकंड इज द यूनिट फॉर टाइम. सो जब भी ऐसी 2 डिफरेंट क्वांटिटीज आए, वी हैव टू यूज अ स्पेस हियर. वी कैन नॉट राइट देम साइमल्टेनियसली. एकदम एडजेसेंट नहीं लिखना है, कुछ स्पेस छोड़ना है. एंड द लास्ट थिंग इज द नेगेटिव पावर्स आर यूज्ड फॉर कंपाउंड यूनिट्स formed by dividing one unit by other. So इसके लिए मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूं. द यूनिट ऑफ स्पीड इज मीटर पर सेकेंड. The unit of speed is meter per second. This is the way we can also write, but the more appropriate form is to write it in the exponential form. Now this can be written as meter into this. Now this particular thing can also be written as this. So this is the way we have to write the units of the quantities. ओके. सो आज के सेशन को हम लोग यहां तक रखते हैं. हमने कहा क्या 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 डिस्कस किया. We talked about ki what is measurement. So measurement is comparison, first thing. Now how do we define comparison of measurement? So we are saying comparison of a known quantity with the known one. Let's recall the example of panel. Panel ki length was unknown and we used the known one for our reference. So measurement is a process of comparing the unknown with using the known one. Okay, it will be having two components, the numerical figure and the unit. 5 kg, 5 is the numerical figure which is also known as magnitude, and the units kg, gram, जिसमें भी आप express करना चाहते हो. Now there were different system of units. There were different system of units like CGS, FPS, MKS. So हमको एक स्टैंडर्ड सिस्टम चाहिए था ताकि वी कैन एक्सप्रेस द यूनिट्स इन अ वन स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड फॉर्म व्हिच इज यूनिवर्सली एक्सेप्टेड. That is why we switched to the SI system, which is the international system of units known as SI system. Okay, these are certain quantities, उनकी SI unit in words and उनके symbols. Next, we talked about few questions, and finally we tried to understood what are the conventions, what are the rules for writing the units. Okay, in the next session I will be completing this chapter along with measurement of length, time, second, temperature and your favorite area. So thank you students, see you in the next class. सॉरी, कितना टाइम हो गया?